Hello and welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is ChaosMole and today we have a power leveling guide for you in Lost Ark, or fast leveling guide, or whatever you want to call them. And this is how you level manually a character from level 10 to level 50 in the fastest way possible. And I want to make a few things clear before we jump into the guide. First things first, what you're seeing here is the early access version of the Western release of Lost Ark. Amazon was nice enough to give me access to this weeks before the actual game is coming out, but everything you see here will also be the same way in the release version you are playing. Second, power leveling and leveling itself in Lost Ark is pretty boring. So you want to have like a YouTube video open or a live stream or maybe, I don't know, something on Netflix, a podcast, whatever. Leveling is not that intriguing in Lost Ark and it can become pretty boring. Now with that said, let's jump into the guide itself and let's see how you can level super quickly. First things first, what you want to do is you want to create a character, right? And when you are done in Trixion and you have chosen your advanced class, you will end up on the tutorial island. The first thing you want to do there is skip the tutorial island. No, seriously, skip it. There is nothing for you to gain there. You don't get any XP, you don't really get any items besides of some cosmetic goggles you can then put on your head, but that's it. It's a complete waste of your time. When you have done that, you will end up in Prideholme, and now you will have the choice of running the main quest, doing a lot of side quests, or even doing some purple quests. And the rule of thumb here is pretty simple: just do the main quest. That's the only thing you really want to do. It's a bit like Final Fantasy XIV, if you have ever played that. If you're just doing the main quest, you will reach level 50 quite quickly. That wasn't always the case. They changed that a few months ago in South Korea, and it's also working here in the Western release of the game, that you can just follow the main quest and you should be good. Now, with that said, if you are playing the main quest, make also sure that you are skipping the cutscenes if you want to be quick, because most of the cutscenes are quite lengthy, and thankfully they have lowered the amount of cutscenes which you cannot skip. So yes, there are a few cutscenes you can unfortunately not skip at all, but I would say 90% of them now are skippable, which helps quite a bit. Now, the next thing you want to look out for is, even though you can level from level 10 to level 50 by just using the main quest, what I like to do is I also like to do, whenever I can, the Red Lightning quest. Those are the event quests which are sometimes just popping up in the wild, and they give you tons of XP. Like, they give you like half the level every time. They are super helpful to get some extra XP, and they only take like 20 seconds, and they are in the area where you have to quest anyways. So I always like to take them with me just to make sure. This is one of the mechanisms I basically did when it wasn't the case yet that you could just level to 50 by just doing the main quest. So I do them anyways. You don't have to do them, but as I said, they give you like half a level every time, so they take like 20 to 30 seconds at best. Why not take them with you, right? Another thing which I like to do is the golden chain quests. They're quests which have like a golden chain in their symbol, and those are quests you can do once, and they count for your whole account, and they give you extra cards, collectible cards, or they give you potions which will give you more stats, or they will give you potions which will give you more skill points. I like to do them. They also give you a good bunch of XP, so they're not really a waste of your time. But there are some people who skip it because they can take a little bit longer, because they're quest chains, so they might slow you down. Depending on how fast you really want to get to 50, I would say ignore them. But personally, I like to do them because those items are really, really helpful, and I just want to grab them on my way to 50. Now, there is one exemption of the rule, because there is one purple quest you want to do right early on in the game. In Prideholme, at some point, you will see a lion cub at the lion statue. It's a cute little white lion. And he will offer you a purple quest. That doesn't pop up immediately when you join Prideholm. It will be a little bit later. I think it's after the Siege of Prideholm, if I'm not completely wrong. And that Lion's Cup will have a purple quest for you. Do that quest, because that quest will give you your pet. And the pet is collecting everything on your screen. So don't miss out on that. Like, it is so helpful. You can, by the way, see the pet running here with me, the white bunny, and that thing will just collect all the items on the screen instantaneously, and you really don't want to miss on that. It takes like 2 to 3 minutes to do that quest. Yes, it will slow you down a little bit, but that 3 minutes is totally worth it. And get that pet. Like, seriously, the moment you can do that quest, do it. Now there is something else we have to talk about when it comes to power leveling, and that is dungeons. Dungeons are an integral part in Lost Ark, and you will do quite a bit of them when you try to reach the max level. And you have multiple choices to make when you jump into the dungeon. You have to make the decision: do you want to play on normal? Do you want to play on hard? Do you want to play it in matchmaking or with friends? Or do you want to play it solo? And the rule of thumb here is as well, the quicker you are, the better it is for you, because dungeons work a little bit different in Lost Ark. They do not give you massive amount of XP. The only thing which gives you massive amount of XP is the actual quest which sends you into the dungeon. Like, when you are finishing the dungeon quest, you get like 1.5 levels, or sometimes even 2 levels. It's crazy what you get. But that is only the quest. The dungeons themselves, the monsters, the bosses, they don't give you anything really. It's laughable. So you want to be as quickly as possible. That means play it on normal, play it solo. Because when you're playing it on hard, the enemies have more attack, more health, and your chances are higher that everything just takes longer or even kills you, and that takes even longer then. So don't do that. And yes, I know some people might say, but Mo, I get epics on hard. Yeah, but in the leveling process, you are getting so many items. You will even swap out those epics like an hour later. It really doesn't matter. And the moment you reach 50, all your equipment gets swapped out for a complete endgame equipment. So there's no need to collect like early items. So just ignore that. And the same goes a little bit for when you are going in with friends or matchmaking. So the dungeons do scale. That means the more people are in there, the more health they have, which would slow you down, so don't do it. Of course, if you want to play with friends, then duh, you're doing it with your friends, right? But there is something else how you can speed up the dungeons. So interestingly, the dungeons are all cut off into like certain segments or like certain arenas. So whenever you are entering an arena segment in the dungeon, at the end of that segment there will be an invisible magical wall which will not allow you to go any further, or there will be some vines, or there will be like a ledge you can jump over, something like that. But what you have to do is you just run to the end of the arena and you have all the enemies with you, and then you unleash your AoE and you kill all the enemies. That's how you do it the quickest way. Or even better, sometimes you will find, like as I said, an edge you can jump over, or a zip line or something like that, and they allow you to do that even though you still have hundreds of enemies behind you. Do it. Do not fight them. As I said, they're not giving you anything. Like 100 enemies might give you 200 XP out of the 500,000 XP you need. It's laughable. Skip those ads whenever you can, and that will speed up your dungeon experience quite quickly. I'm talking about, instead of running through a dungeon in 40 minutes, you will be through there in 20 minutes. So that's like 50% faster. So try to do that whenever you can. Don't fight the enemy. But with that said, you are basically doing everything you can do. Like, ignore everything besides of the main stories. Do the dungeons as quickly as possible. and do the red lightning quests whenever you can. I like to do that, and I also like to do the yellow chain quests because they give you some good items. You don't have to do that, but then maybe later on you have to come back, or with a second character you have to do it, and there are just better ways when you have reached level 50 for the first time to level up a second character. So I'm just doing it when I'm already on my way. It's just a convenience thing, and I'm okay with being a little bit slower. Maybe it takes like an hour longer to actually reach the max level, but that's it. So that's really the only thing how you can power level from level 10 to level 50 manually. And also very important, I will explain that in some of my other guides, but just because you reached level 50 doesn't mean you have reached endgame. You have to reach a certain story part in the main story to actually unlock the endgame areas in the game. And that is when you reach Vern Castle. So you want to reach level Vern Castle at around level 50 so that you can actually unlock the endgame segments of the game. But with that said, this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you were on your way out, I would appreciate if you leave a like. If you're new to the channel, you want to see daily gaming news, reaction videos, tips and tricks for new games, like a lot of Lost Ark in the next few weeks, then I would appreciate if you might leave a subscription. And if you ever want to catch me live, you can do so from Monday to Friday, starting at 9 a.m. East Coast time, which is 2 p.m. UK time and 3 p.m. Central European time, over at trovo.live/ChaosMole. The link will also be in the video description, and we will also play a lot of Lost Ark. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. I hope I see you next time.